All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do a video this morning on Kevin Jones, and I'm going to do an analysis of his throw. Obviously, Kevin Jones is just beloved in the sport. He seems like a funny guy. I've watched him throw in person, and it's kind of like in Wayne's World where you're like, we're not worthy. I mean, he's so unbelievably athletic, and he has a kind of unique style, but all of the elements that I teach are still in this. And I wanted to show Kevin in particular for one specific reason. And there's a few things I'm going to go over. There's so many great things about what he does and how that correlates to what I teach that I don't want to overload everybody. But um, I found this great slow mo. I have to find my spot here. Here we go. Watch it a few times. Now, on this throw, Kevin threw 76 miles an hour, and it was over 600 feet downhill. He had the long drive. In fact, they said it's probably the longest drive that's ever occurred on that hole that anybody's ever seen. Okay. Now, first of all, as far as athleticism goes, Kevin is going to be somebody that's really going to be, his form is going to be kind of out of reach for nearly everybody, really. But he still uses exactly the same elements. And in particular, what he does is he rotates his left leg and left hip so violently underneath his front right hip. And this is something I've been trying to get people to do and to practice. And it's actually shows that the dropping of the knee, which has become very popular to discuss, actually goes, you have to continue the rotation. So the leg must rotate. So here he is in his windup, and you can see he's on one foot, and he is essentially letting this lead shoulder drag behind him, and he's got all this forward momentum from his quite a bit of a run up, and his head is over his back foot. Okay. Now, when his front foot starts to touch the ground, you see the knee has already started rotating. Now, this is not a push. In fact, it would be impossible for this to be a push, and here's how you'll see why. His foot's off the ground. How did he push? Now, one thing he does that I wanted to show specifically in this video is he doesn't quit his lower body left side rotation. He's actually rotating so much that his trailing hip is actually coming in behind his front hip. So this knee here is actually rotating in behind and up to this knee. Let's keep watching. Yep, there it is. Now this knee has rotated completely behind this knee. Now he has a very bent over posture, which accentuates this. But the point being, I think that I'm seeing most of my students, including myself, because of my limited flexibility, they stop rotating too soon. So the lower body has to keep rotating under. So the point is most of the people I teach, they end up having this side of their body come over the top and their leg flops over. Okay, so I'm going to show this another drive, which was also excellent from another angle, and you can see the difference is that his knee buckles in behind his front knee. So his trailing knee is going to end up buckling in behind his front knee. Okay, foot's off the ground, upper body going back, everything's loading into the hip. And here we go. Now, his foot touched the ground and his other foot's already off the ground. There was never a point where his feet were flat on the ground, both feet. And this knee is already trying to rotate in behind this knee. So see, now it's completed. This is if you push in a linear sense, push off, you will never have any of this rotation. His knee and leg is rotating like he's trying to slap this knee in behind this knee. Again. So he's bent over, so it accentuates it a little bit, but it gives us an opportunity to see how far he continues to rotate this backside. In fact, I would say that is the source of his monster power, is he just slams that back leg in behind his front leg, and that drives his upper body. This wham, just, that's some serious power right there, because now he's using his butt muscles, he's using the driving of the knee forward. That's actually his kick. I think it might be a good idea. I might even need to make a drill video on this where we go out and play catch and we work on rotating this knee in behind this knee. And you should end up with both your knees touching together, like right there. You can play catch and do that. Right? You don't have to be super flexible. You might have to be super flexible to do it at the speed he does it, but this is the source of his power. Certainly one of the sources, because he's not relying on his upper body. His upper body is very passive in a very spin and throw manner. He's keeping the disc centered on his chest. And he also, it's hard to see, the quality's not good enough, but he has a massive disc pivot. The disc goes from behind, and then it jumps out here, and it didn't catch it in the frame. Here, I'll back it up and let it run and see if you can see it. Here we go. See how the disc jumped out? It went from here close to his chest to jumping way out to the left beyond his wrist. And also, he is keeping his elbow down to force the nose down, a la Ricky, Garrett Gurthie, etc., etc., etc. Going the wrong way, sorry. Technical difficulties. I do all of my stuff in one take, and I guess I'll never have the cool channel because my stuff is so rough. But see how he keeps his elbow down? It didn't go up. It's down. Still down. Okay, let's go back to this view. Now you don't have to be running 30 miles an hour to do this. You can do this with a one step. You can do this idea of you've got to continue rotating, right? Most people get to about the point where this knee is kind of starting to, and then their foot drops, and that's about as far as they get. Right about there. That's about as far as they get. Most people, okay? So if I say, no, this, and it's not, you're not shoving this together, you're rotating it. That's why his foot flies up behind him. See the rotation? That position. Believe it or not, that position is not that hard to achieve when just throw and catch. It's a good one to practice Because if you continue to rotate or twist the back foot, going all the way back to my first videos, the foot twist, and say, let's not push. Ooh, let's look at his disc pivot real quick. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. See, I just think if you look at the grip, he's the only thing holding on. He's not holding on with his back fingers anymore. It's just, actually the disc is starting to be in front of his hand in the Garrett Gurthie sense. Garrett does it even more, and you can visibly see it. I need to get that video and do a video on the Garrett Gurthie drone video. Somebody PM me that link. He swings the disc in. All right, so let's watch it, and let's watch his back leg and think of what I said, which is I believe the source of his power is this back leg rotation. He actually sets up this rotation. There it is, it's set up. His knees outward, pointing outward right there. His foot's square, and he's on his toe. You can't see it, but he is. All right, here we go. Let me slow this one down even more. Okay, here we go. Just boom. See, I think it's been taught in the past that that's a passive move, right? That your knee coming in behind there is something that's passive, like a bowler is something I've heard it said before. And I'm teaching the opposite, which is that's the active part. That's the actual part. That's the power. It's not passive. It's not happening because of the upper body. It's driving the upper body. Let's watch that again. Now, all I got to do is be able to hit this stupid thing. Just watch the lower body twist, slam into the front. That's where the speed's coming from. Look at those thighs that kid's got. I mean, that's where he's getting his power. And that drives his upper body. One more time. Sorry, kids. Doing the best I can. I'm not tech savvy. Here we go. Shwoom! I make the sound for him. That's awesome. Let's go back and watch his feet again. Now, I could do a one-step, and I showed the one-step when I play catch, which is I step out and then I swing myself into this position. But it's the same position. You could stand over here, step this foot over here, and then swing your butt around, and you're in that exact position, ready to go. And then you take your stride, and let's watch and see where his rotation activates. Right there. It's already gone. It's already rotating. Okay. That foot's off that foot is barely on the ground, and this foot is off the ground. Now, part of that's due to the fact that he is running, and you can't necessarily do that on a catch throw. But I do believe that completing the rotation with the lower body is a fundamental that we absolutely have to make, and it's a fundamental. You have to complete this rotation. You can't just start it and stop halfway through it. So, like I said, maybe I need to make a drill, but I'd like to see people play catch and try to get into this and rotate so far that this knee rotates in behind this knee. It's actually a very comfortable position. This is not contorting. All of these positions are actually very comfortable. I'll tell you what's not comfortable is having both feet flat on the ground and pulling like you're starting a lawnmower. That is not comfortable. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I hope this has been a good video and people liked it. If you want lessons, join my Patreon. I think we're having some success. And join Spin and Throw Disc Golf. Like and subscribe. I've got my 5 people that go to every video I make and unlike it in the first 5 minutes. Really mature, fellas. It's awesome. Get a life. Anyway, this is Brad. Y'all have a good morning. Thank you. Bye.